In March 1932, all eyes were on 52,000 tonnes of steel, 6 million rivets, and an investment of $4.2 million, the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Its opening was an event worthy of its enormity, and a much-needed morale boost for Australia during the Great Depression. But before New South Wales Premier Jack Lang could officially open the bridge with a snip of the scissors, a man on horseback strode out of the crowd, cutting the ceremonial ribbon strung across the bridge with his sword. Though his actions may seem typical of a classic Aussie larrikin embarrassing a politician, there's much more to the story of Francis De Groot, the man who gatecrashed the Sydney Harbour Bridge opening. Sydney antique dealer Francis Edward De Groot was a feverish monarchist who loved the empire so much that he enlisted in the British Army during the First World War. He fought with the Hussars Horseback Division on the Western Front and was gifted a ceremonial sword for his gallantry in battle. Though he returned to Australia in 1920, De Groot's army service did nothing to dampen his support of the British monarchy or his growing anti-communist sentiment. De Groot was so devoted to his ideals that he joined the New Guard in 1931, an organisation dedicated to disrupting the activities of anti-monarchists and communist sympathisers alike. At the top of their enemies list was the New South Wales Premier Jack Lang. In the New Guard's eyes, Lang was the antithesis of their beliefs. The man was a traitor to the Crown for refusing to foot the bill for Britain's war efforts. And his progressive attitudes, for 1930 Sydney at least, also made him a dirty commie. And when it was announced that the Sydney Harbour Bridge would be opened not by a representative of the Royals but by Lang himself, the New Guard were incensed. Something had to be done. As many as 500,000 people were present to witness the opening of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. An excited public, a feverish media, and a mounted police force were awash with anticipation for Premier Jack Lang to cut the ceremonial ribbon. Amongst a troop of lancers, Francis De Groot slipped in on his horse unacknowledged, dressed in full army uniform and holding his cavalry sword. As Lang stepped forward with a pair of scissors in hand, De Groot burst through the mass of people. Proclaiming the bridge open on behalf of the people of New South Wales, De Groot slashed the ribbon with his sword before a stunned audience. The police finally leapt into action, knocking De Groot from his horse and arresting him. The ribbon was retied so Lang could finally cut it, officially opening the bridge. De Groot had undoubtedly upstaged Lang at the ceremony, but he wasn't done causing him embarrassment just yet. Taken to the lunatic reception house at Darlinghurst, De Groot was charged with being insane. But when it came time to go on trial for his actions, De Groot was declared completely sane by multiple psychiatrists. A man who had built such a successful furniture business whose clients included the Governor-General could never be mentally unhinged. The idea that De Groot was holding a dangerous cutting weapon was also refuted by his defence team. They claimed that De Groot's sword was held in a thrusting rather than cutting position and posed no risk to anyone at the ceremony. In the end, De Groot was found guilty of offensive behaviour and served no prison time. He did get fined for his antics, but later sued for false arrest and settled out of court. Fittingly, for an anti-communist, his escapades made him a tidy profit. The New Guard was so enthused by De Groot's work that they gifted him with a custom-made flag commemorating his actions. Though it may not have been due to their efforts, the primary goal of the New Guard was achieved. Lang was sacked by the Governor-General for refusing to pay off the state's debts less than 2 months after opening the Harbour Bridge. With their main purpose achieved, the New Guard's membership and influence dwindled, leading the group to dissolve in 1935 after a failed election campaign. Despite his Harbour Bridge stunt, De Groot resumed his work in the antique world and assisted the Australian Army during World War II before being forcibly retired in 1944. De Groot and his wife returned to Ireland in 1950, where he continued in the antique trade before passing away in 1969 at 80 years old.